Joining us now in Studio B is our good friend Jeff Judkins. It's Jammin' with Juddy, the former Boston Celtic, current head basketball coach for BYU women's hoops. Good to have you back, Juddy.
Good to be back.
What's up, Juddy? Let's just get the elephant in the room out. I passed on the opportunity to sit courtside because I got like 6th row Blazer tickets.
You could have coached a game with Jeff Judkins, Jerem, and you passed on it.
I
could have had your first win in your life to be able to coach BYU.
As a coach? I was like, I've won things, Jeff.
Yeah, no, it's as a coach.
Yeah, okay, as a coach. The tickets were too good. If they were like Upper Bowl or something, no, I wouldn't have.
I know.
It was like 6th row. I had
they told me that, and since I've played in the league, I know how hard it is to get a good seat. And it is a difference. Don't kid yourself. As a fan sitting on the top 10 rows.
That's where I normally sit.
But sitting by, you can feel the intensity, you can feel the pressure, you can feel the size and athleticism of those athletes.
When you can hear the cursing, you have a good seat.
That's
what I always say. Yeah.
What was that first experience like for you in the NBA at that level with that intensity? The first time you stepped on an NBA floor to defend another NBA player and team, what was that like?
Well, first of all, as a young kid, that was my dream, and there's a lot of players in the league that were my idols. And so my first preseason game ever, we play the Knicks because the Celtics and the Knicks are a big rivalry. And who do I have to guard? Walt Frazier. And I'm going, holy cow, 72 champion. And he was older and he wasn't but he was still crafty and smart. And then the next night I'm playing 76ers and Doug Collins, and I'm going like, holy cow, that's the league. And, it really is. People don't realize how good those guys are. And they don't realize how athletic and how big they are. I mean, that's what we were talking about the other day. We were talking about the court is the same size for the NBA, men's college basketball and women's college basketball. And as you notice, they make rules in the NBA where you can't help because of court. But it's difficult for women to cover that court. It's harder for them than it is the men in the NBA because of the speed. And when you see LeBron James and you realize the guy is 6'9" and built like a train, and then you see how fast he is, it's amazing.
Well, you watch a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo, who plays for the Milwaukee Bucks, take one step from the three-point line and he's in the key shooting a layup.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy. And then those guys, they're 7. Dirk's 7 feet. Durant. I went and watched the Golden State game. Durant's 7 feet. He's 6 inches taller than me. I'm trying to walk in this door and I got the duck. He's worse. and people don't realize that, until they get out there.
Would you have thrived more in today's NBA?
No question.
Yeah?
No question.
Why is that?
Because all it is dribble penetration and kicking. And I could really shoot it. So I would get on a team that they just drive and kick, and I'd just be in the corner shooting 3 after 3 after 3. When I started, it was the first year when the NBA had the three-point line. So a lot of people didn't take advantage of that early in that time. But now, I'd just be out. Plus, there's more teams. Plus, I'd have more opportunity. I would have made a lot more money.
You might not be talking to us.
I might be somewhere else. Who knows? But it would have been. I think I would have had a good opportunity now.
How has the three-point line changed the game, not just in the NBA, but at the college level and specifically in women's college basketball?
It's made the court spread out. It's made the team that doesn't have inside presence compete. I think in the women's game, the three-pointer is probably the biggest key of winning. And because if you can hit the shot and spread it out, you can drive. And women's game, they're better shooters than the men. I don't know why, if I knew that answer, but like we were talking the other day about, most bigs in the women's game can all shoot. It's not that way in the men's game. You got one guy that can't shoot, so you just sit in the paint and help. You can't do that in the women's game. Everybody can shoot the 3, and the NBA's getting that way. More of the bigs are shooting. Like I watched last night, Cousins is shooting 3-pointers.
Yeah.
I'm just going, come on, what's going on? But that's how the women do the best job of spreading the court out better than anybody, and that's a real key to be a good coach, is to be able to do that.
Cassie Broadhead
Devashrate.
is scoring under 20 a game right now. Should she shoot more, Jeff?
You know, Cassie's had a lot of pressure on her. Every game, they've done things to try to stop her. And I told her the other day, I said, you feel like LeBron James. You feel like that every game you go to, everybody wants to do this to you. I think she could shoot a little bit more. I think what she needs to do is she needs to try to, when she has opportunities and people make a mistake, make them pay for it a little bit. And it's hard that way because she wants to get everybody else involved, but she's playing real solid. I think she'd like to shoot a little bit better. She hasn't shot the three as well as she shot it last year, and part of it is people don't give her open threes like they did last year. They're flying at her, but she's a great player, and I'm really fortunate to be able to coach her.
What's the toughest challenge your team faces right now as you get into West Coast Conference play?
You know, when our inside presence is good, and what I mean by that is scoring or defensively being active, we seem to play very well. Like against Utah, Sarah played really well in that game, and so did Roy Chalet. And then we go to Portland, it was the same deal. We have to have better inside presence for our team to win. And Amanda played really well against Portland, and she got a double-double. And if we get somebody, one of our bigs, to do that every night, then we're a lot better. And I think Sarah's starting to play better. I think she's starting to kind of get in the field a little bit, and I think that'll really help us.
What does San Francisco do that has your attention?
They have a guard that's very, very crafty and great scorer. She plays a lot like Cassie, and we got to do a great job of defending her. And then they run a lot of kind of stuff like Air Force cutting and moving. And if you're not sharp and you relax, and they're going to get an easy basket. And then they've got a big that's kind of scary. She can shoot it, and she's not shooting a good percentage right now. But last year she really hurt us in San Francisco. We got to do a good job on her, and we got to play our game. You know, we got to come out and push the ball and go inside out and get Cassie shots, and hopefully Malia gets some baskets and get Brenna hitting some threes, and then we can be a lot better off.
Obviously, winning games and winning league titles is the cure-all, but you still have to pay attention to the RPI and resumes and getting big wins as you try and position yourself to get to the NCAA tournament. How much do you pay attention to things like that, to projected brackets and RPI as you go throughout the season as a college coach?
Well, I think at the first of the year with the schedule that we did this year, that was part of it. I mean, we wanted to have a good RPI, and so we took a risk, and we played a lot of hard teams, and we didn't win them. If we win those games, we're probably 8th, 9th RPI like we were a couple of years ago. The hard part with it is now we're probably far enough out of it that we're going to have to win the league and win the tournament, probably to go. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how every small conference teams look at it. That you've got to win your conference, you've got to win the tournament to be able to do it. We're going to have to do that for sure. And maybe by playing a hard schedule, it'll help us. It'll help us in this conference. It'll help us in the play in the tournament.
All right, Jetty, let's give you a measure of the BYU Sports Nation karma for tonight's game in San Francisco. Big home weekend, couple of games as you guys try and get back on track and get over the 500 mark again. So best of luck to you.
Really nice. Hope we can do that. By the way, Kalani and Jen are overseas playing in Australia.
Yes.
Yeah. And Dan told me yesterday, my assistant, that they are in the semifinals of the championship. They're not playing each other, but they're in the semifinals.
They could meet.
So they could meet in the championship?
Could meet in the championship game. So, but that's a great thing for our program to have them over doing so well and really and doing it. So
let's go.
So let the Sport Nation know.
Yeah, Jen played last night. We will update you how she did in the whip. So we'll see you tonight.
Okay, thanks you guys. Thanks.